All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started here today. Thank you everyone for joining. So my name is Alex Garton. I am DSI's Customer Success Manager, and my role over here is to help our customers find the value and solutions they've purchased from us. DSI is a customer success program specialization partner. We are a Cisco Gold partner as well, and we hold several master's specializations to include security, collaboration, networking, and have also been in business since 1991. And today I wanted to speak with everyone on the line here to discuss new ways to use technology to continue the education of your students. We feel it's our civic duty to educate those who are willing to listen to us on ways to develop and launch a distance learning program and continue that learning program throughout the course of the year and just a future offering for your universities and your K through 12 programs. Today I have some prepared scenarios for you all. We're going to be doing some quick demonstrations, and then after this webinar, I'm actually going to be giving you a guideline for deployment on how you can use WebEx Teams and meetings in your own communities, and we're going to provide you the values behind that and how to get started with that with some documentation, some help guides, and whatnot. So stay tuned to the end. We're going to share the webinar and all the different kinds of information surrounding the free 90-day trial that includes WebEx Teams, WebEx Meetings, and WebEx Calling. So today, most schools do not have a contingency plan if they're forced to shut down. If there is a plan in place, it's uncertain how long we can sustain term engagement with those students. And so with Cisco Webex, we want to be able to provide assurance to the administrators and teachers that they can all rely on in this instance. With features like Cisco Webex Education Connector, you're going to be able to integrate both WebEx Teams and WebEx Meetings into your LMS like Blackboard, Canvas, Moodle, Sakai, D2L, and more. So teachers are going to be able to create lessons plans within these platforms, right? We're going to be able to host office hours, post-class lectures online, and even message students directly through a team space for that specific class. And we will show you how to do that here in a few minutes. So what is WebEx Teams and Meetings? Before I show, I want to kind of quickly explain that there is an option here, and this is a quick screenshot you can see in regards to the LMS connector, where you can see your grading, curriculum, the different connectors within your Blackboard, Sakai, or any other integrations you might possess. Now with that, I want to kind of go through what WebEx Teams is. So with WebEx, students can actually work together and connect on any device, whether they're on or off campus. Students using this technology can actually provide a new and exciting way to engage with their classmates and teachers and help them stay focused and make learning more exciting, right? You know, kids these days and your college students in K through 12, they have their phones, they have their computers and tablets. Let's find a great way to incorporate this situation and include students in a new way to engage with their teachers and parents as well, and administrators. And I want to clarify, WebEx is not just a video conferencing tool. You can also message your colleagues and students, whiteboard virtually, transfer files and share it of any size securely across this platform. We use it to conduct tests, control a student's machine virtually. So let's say a student's working on a project and perhaps, you know, your teacher needs to take over, maybe open up a file for them or drag and drop something in a PowerPoint or even erase some words in a Word document. WebEx is going to give you that functionality, which, you know, a lot of people are unfamiliar with. Teachers can organize students into group projects in seconds by using a team space and then adding those students within those spaces. In a team space, you can upload files. The group can actually video chat instantly with a click of a button and message each other in that session. During a whiteboard session, a teacher can actually share a PowerPoint or any online material, maybe an online textbook or any kind of collateral you might want to share during that session. And then your students are going to be able to talk to each other, and then as if they're in the classroom, right? We want to continue that experience and make it a virtual learning experience for the teacher and for the student. After that session is completed, you can save that session, even record it, and then transfer it and locate it in one of those team spaces for you to look at down the road. So let's say, you know, a student has a different learning pace, right? Maybe they need a little bit extra time to work over a problem, or maybe after the lesson plan is over, they can go ahead and access that information down the road. And for your students who are K through 12 or even in college, you know, maybe their parents can be over their shoulder and they want to help their student, you know, learn how to, you know, do whatever activity they were just working on. You have that ability in WebEx Meetings and Teams. Within WebEx Meetings, you also have the ability to see who's paying attention. So if their video is off, right, or maybe they're not on the correct browser, you're actually going to see a little red exclamation mark next to that student's name. You can shake their screen or remind that student, hey, please, go back to the right browser. We're working on a project together. We need your full attention. So all these tools are going to be helping you all, keeping your students on track. And, we want to make sure that you're leveraging these solutions to, again, keep students engaged with classes and making sure that they're using the right technology to improve their day-to-day lives. This is an example of a whiteboard session. You see here, I've got an example of a teacher who's sharing a bicycle, right? We're talking about different gears and how things are working. Now, this right here can be done on a WebEx board. It can be done on a computer. It can be done on an iPad. And you can see here my student in this instance has their cell phone. They're watching this presentation live from their phone, and they're actually able to write on their phone if they want, maybe circle something, or even interact and message the teacher about, hey, I don't get this. Could you please stop? Or can we go over something? Or, hey, what is that part? And they could actually underline it as a student, and it would tell them who has made that comment so they can make sure we're engaging and we're continuing the conversation as if they were in a classroom. So we want to give you all some guides, some help guides on, how to continue this education through lesson plans, using WebEx in different creative ways to engage your students with WebEx Teams and meetings. And we're going to be sharing this content after the webinar as well. So we want to make sure we leave you with something concrete. So when you do move these plans of actions into place, we are going to give you the tools for success. We're also going to make sure that, students can prepare for online WebEx learning. So we're going to give you a guide for that. How students can transition from in the classroom, moving to more of a virtual standpoint. We have guides to show you how to do that as well. You can pass that to those students. In addition, we want to show these people how we're experiencing collaboration in a new way. So we want to make class groups, right? Create those spaces we're talking about. Maybe a welcome message before class starts. So I want to say, hey, everyone, in the next 5 minutes, we're going to be joining this class session. Please make sure you're in front of your computer, right? Because if they have their cell phone, they'll get that notification like, oh, look at the time. I got to hop on this class real quick. And they can go ahead and do that. All right. And then we also do have best practices as far as a learning environment back at home to make sure they have a clear desk, there's no distractions, they have a clear internet connection, and all those pieces of information we will provide as well. Now, I do want to share some of the learning personas, right, that we have through K-12 and the higher education. Primarily on the student side, right, we are trying to optimize their learning experiences. And as I mentioned earlier, when we're talking about students who have different learning curves, maybe they want to learn on their own pace, we're having to worry about, uploading these documents that they can then retrieve later down the road and review. So there's no more, hey, teacher, sir or ma'am, I don't know what's going on. Can we please, can I slow down so I can take these notes? That won't be an issue anymore because they can look at that documentation down the road, especially if the teacher's recording that session, they can actually replay that, and all that's going to be living in that team space for their classroom, which we will show you here shortly. Providing opportunities for anytime, anywhere. If you saw my post on LinkedIn, we were talking about how when I was in college, if there was an instance where I was sick or maybe I wasn't able to attend class for whatever reason, no worries. I can look at all that information later. I could join virtually from anywhere in the world that has an internet connection. So I'm always going to be able to extend that option to my students that you can learn in any environment that you'd like. And especially under the troubling times of the coronavirus and even the flu season, right? We want to make sure that our students aren't just missing class. They can stay engaged while at home. For our teachers, extending that classroom beyond just the brick and mortar walls that we see. We want to bring educators and students together. Could you imagine the power of having your student actually message you one-on-one? I know from experience with Blackboard, which is what I've used before in Sakai, you're having to send a message either by email or even post something in Blackboard, meaning you as a teacher need to log into these accounts, go through your messages without getting sidetracked and having to respond to these messages, where I could instantly respond within WebEx Teams through my phone, computer, tablet, or any other device that has these applications uploaded onto it. We want to provide that personalized and on-demand learning for students. As I mentioned, when we're having these presentations, they're all going to be, time-stamped inside WebEx Teams for further access down the road, which is powerful for students, showing their parents, or even just a college student having to go over an exam or maybe preparing for exam, they can go through their old notes. For the administrators, we want to increase efficiency, correct? Right? We want to make sure that we're able to communicate with the faculty and staff for an instance like this where schools are shutting down. We want to make sure that we're hopping in there and sending out these emergency notifications. We're going to talk in a little bit here about how you can do a live Facebook broadcast through WebEx Teams and WebEx Meetings, right? Can you imagine the power of that being an educator or administrator where maybe the parents don't have the news turned on or anything like that, but they are on there scrolling through their phones on Facebook and, well, look, here's my school system doing a live Facebook broadcast telling me that the schools are shut down. Or next week, spring breaks are happening all across the country. We're able to tell our students through Facebook that, hey, due to the circumstances, we're shutting down schools until April. We want to be able to get that message out, and we have now provided you another facilitation for that. On the parent side of the house, simple access to teachers and faculty members. We're also allowing parents to connect and communicate with teachers at any time and anywhere. If you want to hop on your student's account, send your teacher a quick message, or maybe have them send you a text or anything like that, you can do so. The visibility of being able to stand behind your son or daughter while they're working on a project in the home environment and helping them with work is powerful. And that's all the tools we're going to be providing you with this 90-day free trial. So I want to switch gears here and go more now. I want to show you what WebEx Meetings looks like from your platform and your stance. Right now, as we are looking at this webinar, you are the students, right? I'm the educator. I'm showing you how this is going to be done. This is the environment you're going to see from the student side. Now, this is what I'm going to be seeing right here. And if you look at the screen, this is what I'm seeing as an educator. I can share my desktop. If some of my students are late, I can go ahead and remind them and send them an email invitation to join that meeting again. Now, let's say that I have a question, or maybe I need to raise my hand to stop my professor from talking, or I need to slow them down. I can do that. I can also ask my students, hey, everyone, are you guys tracking? Does everyone have any questions? They can say yes or no. And then also, if you see here, there's an annunciation tool where I can tell my professor, sir or ma'am, could you please slow down? Could you repeat that without having to actually interrupt through audio? They can simply click this annunciation button right here, and then it will notify the teacher, hey, I need to slow down, or I need to enunciate better, or however else the student needs to be able to learn better. We have that functionality inside WebEx, and then this is afforded to them. So next, I want to go ahead and switch into WebEx Teams and show you what this application is going to look like in regards to having your students inside of a chat option and seeing what they can do in here. So for the educators and the administrators, what we're seeing here is a WebEx Team space. We've got our education options here. So maybe I have a faculty staff meeting, those typical Monday morning meetings or Monday afternoon meetings. This option right here, I could have over 1,000 staff members in this meeting area right here. And it's like, hey team, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be hosting a live emergency meeting. I can only imagine how many emails are already being sent out. So imagine having the fluid option of just sending a quick message to my entire staff. Hey, let's meet at 4 p.m., right? That message just went out to all of my students and staff. And I can see here my teacher, Michelle, has actually went ahead and saw that message instantly at 2:16. And even better, if I want to go ahead and instant video chat with all those teachers, I could simply click this button right here, and the hundreds, if not thousands, teachers who are in this general studies faculty space will get that message on their desktop, their laptop, their cell phone, their tablets, whatever devices contain the WebEx application. Now more on the student side, right? If I have my history students or my English class, right? For all those professors and educators out there, can you imagine telling your students, hey, please submit your papers by 4 p.m. I remember having to go into Blackboard and hope that it uploads, something like this, right? Instantaneous uploading. Any file is going to be done within the time frame that it takes to actually download that file. And not only that, but you could do MP4 files. You're not having to worry about doing a Dropbox. It's all going to be on here. And the best part is that it is timestamped. You can see here that this document right here was sent at 1/15/2020, 8:43 a.m. And we can see here, hey, 4 p.m. is my timestamp that my deadline is, so please send over your paper, Chris. Right, we're able to make sure that these students are getting this information. I wanted to kind of fast forward here to something that's going to be happening at the end. When you do open up that zip file we have provided, we went ahead and provided you with a consent template. Obviously, in these times, we need to make sure the parents are consenting that their children are able to communicate through collaboration devices that exist on WebEx Teams and WebEx Meetings. We've already provided you that consent form. We have email templates and all other documentation that we'd like to share with you as well. So feel free to access that information later. And with that, I want to actually go ahead and share some information regarding the templates and some of the papers that we have for you. You notice here on my screen, we've got some templates here that we're going to be sharing with you all after the fact. I've got a WebEx download form, so you can feel free to go ahead and share this information with your students. We also had a best practices guide. So if you're trying to plan a worksheet and working through a document, if I'm an educator, I'm like, okay, I can use this as my planning template when I'm doing a lesson plan. My meeting objectives or my class objectives are going to go here. What files do I want to share? What's my agenda for this session? What tools do I need? Do I want to have a whiteboard? Do I want polling? Do I want to have my students have a quiz afterwards? What task and role is the name of those individuals? If students can't connect to audio, what am I doing? So we're giving you all these plans so that you can be better prepared when we launch WebEx. In addition, getting started with WebEx Meetings. This might be new for some of you, so you want to make sure you're starting off right. We've gone ahead and schedule your own meeting, how to start and join a meeting, right? And then what we're doing inside those meetings, we're sharing audio. And I think the best thing that we can take home from this is we're looking at these best practices. Hey, make sure your desk space is cleared. Make sure you have a good internet connection. Look behind you. Make sure there's nothing like a light beam coming in from a window that's going to be disruptive to your students. We're also providing a feature matrix. So as an educator or administrator, what do I use within WebEx? When do I use WebEx meetings? When do I use WebEx training and events and support? We provided a breakdown of how to do this, the numbers of attendees, and how to access this functionality. A few other things we're going to be looking at here is the remote learning, right? How to build a lesson plan, create a space, sharing, best practices around that. And then again, Cisco Educator, something that I found that was kind of interesting within the Cisco platform, especially for the K through 12 and even our higher education individuals. Could you imagine doing what we call a virtual field trip, where let's say I had a contact within our community space that exists within Cisco. Let's say an archaeologist living in Rome and they're actually out in the field on their cell phone. They could actually host a class and participate in a class and sharing with students across the world these different features and showing them like, hey, this is the Parthenon or wherever. You can do that with WebEx Meetings and WebEx Teams. And it's kind of a great experience for these individuals. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and switch gears and show you again our PowerPoint presentation. And I want to kind of walk through again the nitty gritty as far as the featuring on the 90-day offering that you're going to be provided after this meeting here. So within that 90-day trial, something that I want you all to be focused on is we're going to be providing a link at the end of this slideshow to talk about what's included. And so just to give you a quick view here, you are going to get up to 50 free licenses within the WebEx platform, WebEx Meetings, and WebEx Teams. Keep in mind, when I talk about licensing, a host, someone who's consuming this license, is somebody like me who is going to be hosting and scheduling a meeting. So as an attendee, you all are my attendees right now. You don't need a host license. You wouldn't need to consume one of those, right? So just keep that in the back of your mind. And we do have the documentation for that as well. Unlimited time usage. Beforehand in the free trial version of WebEx, you only had a 45-minute window to conduct a meeting. Now, under the circumstances, we've unveiled that. It's going to be an unlimited session. On top of that, you can have at least 100 participants per session. We're also offering a free dial-in option, toll dial-in option, and then voice, so voice over IP is also included as well. To take it a step further, we're giving you all these options and throwing all this information at you. Every Wednesday at 2 p.m., DSI, our customer success team, is going to be hosting a training webinar session for all new users and existing users to get refresher course, a crash course on WebEx, how to use WebEx Teams, and then if there's any case where you need a one-on-one individual session, feel free to send an email to impact@dsitech.com, and we can go ahead and schedule a one-on-one interaction with you to discuss how this is going to work on your university or K through 12. I also want to mention that WebEx calling is also offered in this 90-day trial. So for someone like me who has my desk phone in my desk in my office, you know, when I'm not in class, right, if I'm having to work from home, all of my calls that are going from my desk phone are automatically going to my cell phone because I have WebEx Teams on my cell phone now. So you're never going to miss a call, even if you are still on campus or in your brick and mortar building. If I'm going up to go to a staff meeting and I get a desk call, I'm able to pick up that phone and not miss that call. So you're always going to be staying connected. Now, I want to mention that after this webinar, we're going to have the coronavirus information site. We're going to be collecting information from you all and how to set up your trial account. So what I'm going to be doing is reaching out to you individually, collecting information on how we can set up your trial account, get things pumped out to you. And I urge everybody at the bottom of the page here, you can see here the dsitech.com/events/coronavirus-webinars. We're going to have all those zip drives and documentation that we just showed you. Feel free to access that information. And I encourage you all, if you have any questions or concerns, please put that in the Q&A and we'll go ahead and reach out to you now following this webinar. And then if you have any further questions and you'd like to contact our customer success team, please do so at impact@dsitech.com, and we can schedule a follow-up meeting on how we can help you on a more personal level. And I really appreciate everyone who came out and met us today. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world right now that we need attentive, and these are very troubling times. And as far as getting this information out, finding contingency plans on a whim, DSI and the DSI customer success team are here to help you, and we look forward to working with you all in the future. And you know, stay safe out there, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you so much.